This is Josh Bernstein. If you don't know him, he's a political commentator. I talked about him a lot back in the day, but he had something absolutely wild to say. Listen to this.
Let the mass denaturalizations begin, because that's what needs to happen. You can stop so much of this garbage just by doing that.
Denaturalizing, which means stripping people of their U.S. citizenship. That's what he means. Mass removing people from the country, sending them to concentration camps or other countries or whatever, U.S. citizens included. That's what he means. Holy Christ, dude.
And you know what? This also brings me to this. This is another reason why we've got to clean up our elections. We've got to make sure that these people are gone. We have to basically become the Gestapo, but for a good cause.
I'm sorry, it would be hilarious if it weren't so fucking disturbing. We have to be the Gestapo, but for a good cause, by removing people from power that you don't like, by deporting mass numbers of people. I don't know if he knows this. I knew this, but I didn't realize it. I didn't connect the dots, but Jews in Germany were immigrants. They were the immigrants. They weren't immigrants. They had lived there for hundreds of years, but Hitler called them aliens. He claimed that they didn't belong there. They weren't part of Europe, and he wanted them out. In the exact same identical way to what's happening here in the United States with basically non-white people, with Mexicans, with immigrants of various sorts. It happened identically. And you know how he did it? He used the Gestapo. So how exactly do you think the Gestapo in the United States would do things in a good way that the Gestapo in Germany did things in a bad way? How would they be different? He's calling for them to literally operate in an identical way.
Which is what? Getting rid of people that are not supposed to be in this country.
Literally what Hitler said about the Jews.
By force. By force, no matter what means necessary. You know, they want to call us fascists all the time. Hell, why don't we live up to their expectations, okay?
Dude, I love this line. I love it when people say this. You know what it reminds me of? Hold on. There's a community post I put up the other day. Nope, not this one. This is the diddler. Diddle me this. What list, says the diddler Trump. No, that's not the one I was looking for. Sorry. Was it this one? We are all domestic terrorists. Yes, this is real. Nope, sorry, that's not the one. Let's see. This one? Nope. This is Alex Jones wearing a Hitler mustache. Yes, all of these are real. That's not the one. Here it is. This is what I was looking for right here. My God, these Trump people are fascists, says this girl holding a phone. Dude leans in with a MAGA hat. That attitude is what's pushing me to be a fascist. Say what? Might as well. You say I'm a Nazi, so fine, I'll be a Nazi if that makes you happy. It doesn't. I bought this Waffen-SS uniform for Halloween. You'll cry offensive, so maybe I'll just wear it every day. He shaves his head while getting a swastika tattoo. I just hate to do this. I feel bullied, really. This is the exact argument, right? Is that not exactly what Josh Bernstein just said?
By force, no matter what means necessary. You know, they want to call us fascists all the time. Hell, why don't we live up to their expectations?
I know, you're just being forced to. Oh, you don't want to, right, Josh? Oh, you're being forced to. You'll push through, though, right? You'll do it anyway.
Okay? But do it in a good way. Get rid of these people in our country. And if we don't do it, well, we might be having a different conversation come November of 2026.
It's wild to me that he keeps saying, but in a good way. Like that changes literally anything. This dude is such a colossal scumbag, seriously. I actually have like a bunch of other videos from him that are like deeply entertaining to go back and look at now. Check this out. His banner says, the choice is crystal clear. Trump 2020 or death. Trump or death. He believed he was going to die in 2020, apparently, and everyone else was, if Biden won.
Trump or death.
This is, by the way, this is produced mid-February 2020 when this came out. About 8 months before the election.
That's what this is all about. That's going to be the code moving forward to the election. Okay? I'm going to end almost every segment with the same thing. Your choice is Trump or death. Immigration, you want control over immigration, you vote for President Trump. You want more terrorists coming into the United States of America, you vote against him.
I mean, of course, it's complete unadulterated delusion. Terrorists were not coming into the country under Biden. Immigration went up and down because of COVID. It varied. It was up at a certain point under Trump. It was down under Trump. It was up under Biden, down under Biden. but there were never like terrorists coming in. The narrative is called the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, and it was the same conspiracy theory in Germany about Jews. They were coming in to replace good Germans and to outbreed them and basically have more children than them so that they could outnumber them or whatever. That's just not how it works. It's not how it has ever worked. Immigrants coming here are not like an invading army. It's pure, unadulterated delusion.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
It's really that simple. This is not about policy.
Oh, I'm sorry. And yeah, remember, this isn't just about the idea that immigrants are going to come in and try to replace us or whatever. He believed that it was going to be death. He thought he was going to die if Trump didn't win in 2020.
It's really that simple. This is not about policy. This is not about party. This is literally about survival. And the only one that's going to help us survive is President Trump being reelected. Who knows what happens after that in 2024? We'll get to that and cross that bridge when we get there. But we've got to make sure that we get President Trump reelected because, as I said, it's Trump or death.
Dude is absolutely insane. I actually sometimes troll this subreddit called r/doomer circle jerk. It's insane on there, dude. It's just right-wing insanity. They're all talking about how, let me just show you an example. Hang on. Here you go. This is an example. 1 year ago today, a Redditor said we were all overreacting to Trump getting elected. Nobody's going to be put in a concentration camp, quote unquote. And this person says, Doomers are now pretending that concentration camps actually happened because they so badly want to gloat about being right. There are literal concentration camps that people are being sent to. In El Salvador and Alligator Alcatraz is a concentration camp. Do you know what a concentration camp is? Where people are concentrated in high numbers and treated like animals. And that's absolutely happening in Alligator Alcatraz. I like how they all moved on from crying about cancel culture with the late night hosts and pretending they never once took part in such a thing and went back to trying to cancel Sydney Sweeney after a single interview where she literally said nothing. Complete and total delusion. First of all, you know that Sydney Sweeney thing was completely fabricated? Nobody gave a shit about that ad. You remember the American Eagle ad? This ad right here, this American Eagle ad?
Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
You see what I did there, right? Genes are passed down from
Anyway, God, it's so transparently like sex appeal. It's painful. It's such manipulation. The point is, nobody was freaking out about that. Nobody said that was a Nazi dog whistle. You know who started it? The right. Fox News and other right-wing news networks started saying the left is freaking out because it's a Nazi dog whistle. It was very obviously a Nazi dog whistle, but nobody gave a shit. Nobody was paying any attention to it. The right started that. The right looks for opportunities to start culture war issues, and the Sydney Sweeney thing was perfect. I suspect maybe it was choreographed even. Like, the ad was planned by American Eagle, and they asked Fox News and others to blow this completely out of proportion to start a culture war campaign. That's my suspicion. This is the exact website I was looking for, Open Measures. Outrage over American Eagle's Great Genes ad was a conservative media creation. And it's an actual scientific study that they did where they researched posts about the Sydney Sweeney thing, when they started and who started them and stuff. It was completely fabricated out of nothing. Like, the bubble that this Doomer Circle Jerk subreddit lives in is impenetrable. They just live in another reality. They think that there are not concentration camps that Trump is sending people to. They think that Sydney Sweeney was actually something that the left was outraged over. It was clearly a racist dog whistle, obviously, but nobody gave a shit. It was media manipulation the whole time. And these poor gullible suckers fell for it. Anyway, back to Josh Bernstein. This dude actually scares me in how detached from reality he is. Some of the things he says are absolutely insane. Listen to this one.
I think that we should have a permanent ban on delivering goods and services into big, blue, dominant, liberal cities in America.
This was September 2021 when he said this, by the way. And it was I think immediately before... it was after the election, after Joe Biden was inaugurated, because he was inaugurated January 20th. So this is like 9 months later, 9 months after Biden took power. And he wants to use food as a weapon against his political enemies. This is psychosis. Sign up for my Patreon. I'd really appreciate that very much. It would mean so much to me. This is like a really precarious moment in history, in U.S. history, and for me personally. So it would mean a lot if you sign up for my Patreon. Check out cultarchive.org. I did a cult test, basically, where you can see if you're in a cult, and you can look at the historical tests of other groups that already went through this. Also, check out my merch. I have a whole bunch of really cool shirts and stuff. Really interesting. I would really appreciate that.
I think that the truckers should boycott big blue cities in California, New York, and Chicago, and, and Houston, and, everywhere else that, Detroit, anywhere where there are tons of registered Democrats. And I would do it, honestly, by zip code. So in other words, I'm sure these groups that are forming can get a hold of voter registrations in some of these big cities.
That's insane. I mean, really process what this guy is calling for. He wants to find the most heavily populated areas with Democrats and kill them through famine. We have a Republican problem. We have a Trump problem, but we have a Republican problem that is going to have to be dealt with after Trump is gone. And I'm not sure how to grapple with that other than to jail criminals for the crimes that they commit. Like Elon Musk and Bannon and all, everybody who participated with ICE has to go to prison, who violated the law, who committed crimes while they were members of ICE.
And cities that are dominated with Democrats, we need to squeeze.
Oh, yes. I see you guys noticed patriotpoopbags.com. Yes, patriotpoopbags.com. I know you're thinking, like, what is this, right? What is this an ad for? I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. Like, is he marketing to older people who, like, use, like, adult diapers, Depends or something? Is that what this is for? No, it turns out it's little bags with Joe Biden's face on it that you use to pick up dog poop, basically, is what it is. Still absurd and disgusting and ridiculous, but oh my God, it's so stupid.
Squeeze them dry. You get nothing. You get nothing delivered. You get no food. You get no shelter. You get no water.
Why? I mean, I can understand fighting in a kind of strike situation, but he's not doing that. He's not calling for strike. He's calling for murder. He's trying to kill people. There is nothing that the Democrats could do to make him happy, to end this protest that he wants to form. He just wants people dead.
No supplies. You get nothing until this illegal administration, this treasonous dictatorship.
He's talking about Biden.
Steps down.
A treasonous dictatorship, he said.
Supposed to be there in the first place because they stole their power. They did not earn their power. People did not vote for these scumbags, and therefore they are illegitimate.
See, this is the difference between me and Josh Bernstein. This is the difference between the left and the right. The right spent 4 years screeching about how they wanted these people dead. They wanted Biden dead. They put up Biden hogtied on the back of trucks. They talked about ways to murder people with famine and stuff like that for 4 straight years. What are the Democrats doing? Watching in horror as everything around us is destroyed by these extremist nutcases. Even if I were on this guy's side, I would never use the tactics that he uses. They are dirty and evil and wrong. Of lying, cheating, manipulating, advocating for people's deaths and stuff like this. I would never participate in that. It's vile. That's Josh Bernstein, man. He is just a disgusting human being. Seriously. It's just wrong. Tell me what you think in the comments.